Good evening, good morning, wherever you are. And once again, welcome to 60 Minutes. I am Zalendo, and today featuring what is happening in Tanzania. Tumechoka sana na stori za kule nyumbani Kenya. Leo tuko katika nchi ya Tanzania. I mean, there's so much is happening in Tanzania. And kudos to the people who are standing in for democracy in Tanzania. But I will give you a brief story of what is actually taking place in Tanzania. Good evening, Kenya. Good evening, Africa. Good evening, Wazalendo wa Tanzania. And tonight we cross the border, not with our passports because we can't get into Tanzania, but we are going there with purpose, purpose to highlight the atrocities that is happening in this beautiful country called Tanzania. Because what is happening in Tanzania is not just a Tanzanian story. That is, it's an African alarming story of democracy that is bleeding across Africa, and the world is just watching. We have just closed our eyes into what is happening in Tanzania. The African Union has just said that those elections in Tanzania are free and fair. Now, on October 29th, Tanzania went to the polls, but many didn't find their names uh, on uh, on the polling center. Many did not find even their leaders who they wanted to elect on the ballot, and some didn't find their way back home. The ruling party, which is CCM, wanaita CCM, chama cha mapinduzi ama ni mabadiliko, is claiming victory, but the streets in Tanzania is claiming something else. Truth, justice, and a voice for the people. And this is something that was not anticipated in a country that is so calm. Tanzania ni watulivu. We never thought that Tanzania would demand justice. Uh, the election has ignited a lot of street protest, as I'll show you on some of the videos that we got from other sources. Because media in Tanzania hawaruhusiwi kuingia pale kuonyesha chochote. Now, according to before we even get to the tallies of what is happening, what happened in Tanzania, let us look at how this started. You remember that video you saw of a soldier uh, who appeared on camera, and it went viral on TikTok and many and other spaces.
That video is John Charles Tesha, a weapons instructor in the Tanzania Air Force.
Let's listen.
October 4th,
Yes.
2025, a Saturday afternoon in Tanzania, a military officer goes on camera and tells his country, "Your government is stealing from you, and if we don't stop them, this nation will collapse." The man in that video is John Charles Tesha, a weapons instructor in the Tanzania Air Force. And he just did something that hasn't happened in Tanzania for 60 years. He's calling for the military to overthrow the government on camera, in uniform, live on social media. Within hours, this video is everywhere. TikTok, Instagram, WhatsApp groups exploding across East Africa. The government tried to delete it, but they were too late. 2 days later, Tesha is discharged. His whereabouts are unknown. So, why would a decorated officer throw away his entire career like this? What could make someone that desperate? The answer is President Samia Suluhu Hassan, Tanzania's first female president, the woman everyone thought would be different. Turns out, she's different. just not in the way people hoped. And that's where this story really begins.
Wow, you saw that video that went viral. That officer apparently disappeared, and nobody knows his whereabouts. Just like in many cases that we are in across Africa, when the elections are just around the corner, people are detained, others are maimed, people just disappear. But we keep quiet about it. So it is high time that we start talking about these atrocities that is happening across Africa, and especially in East Africa, in Uganda, in Kenya, in Tanzania. We need to speak up and stop these leaders because we have got freedom. We have got freedom now. President Samia Suluhu Hassan and CCM are on course. Of course, they have won the elections with more than, I don't know, 90%. But the major opposition figures were excluded from this election. Can you imagine a president conducting elections and she's the only one, and she's the only one on the ballot. The others are just the others are our main opposition uh, is in custody. Tundu Lusu is in custody, and of course she goes ahead with Trump with some treason charges and things like that, and detains the opposition completely, blocks other opposition leaders from contesting. Those who would really give her the challenge, they are blocked completely. Then we have some flower girls who are just, on the ballot for the sake. And she goes ahead, continues with the election, and the protests erupt immediately uh, after when the elections are going on. Uh, Security operators impose a curfew in Dar es Salaam. Tear gas, live bullets are used. The military at the tally centers, and I understand from reliable sources that the military you are seeing, those who are not, those who are selected military officers who are patrolling the streets in Tanzania. Uh, Samia Suluhu, uh, she's the head of military according to the constitution. She's the head of the military. So most barracks in Tanzania were blocked, and the military officers could not come out of of the barracks. So there were selected few who were patrolling the streets of Dar es Salaam, Arusha, and such like places. Now she went a step further. Ndio nakwambia, uh, this lady is dangerous. She went a step further. There was a nationwide shutdown of the internet, silenced everybody, no communication. If you are got family members who are in Tanzania, you could not reach, you can't reach them on WhatsApp. There's no internet. Basically, there's no internet in Tanzania, and she also blocked independent verification of of the process. Again, media, rights groups were all blocked from accessing these polling centers, and but a few of them who had courage uh, gathered some information, which I think maybe they will share later on. But there is a lot of fear. Now the crowds that you're seeing in Tanzania, are young people. These are young people who are demanding democracy. in a situation where democracy is under siege. So these young people protested. I think they got a copy from their Kenyan counterpart who have been doing protest au wamekuwa ni maprofessionals katika hii ulingo wa wa protest. So Watanzania pia wamesema hawawachwi nyuma, and I see a same replica happening in Uganda. Uganda is also going to have its elections very soon. Uh, Similar things might happen if the elections are not free and fair. So there is a steady rise of democracy and freedom of expression amongst the people, exercising them within the absence of the government, because the government has refused completely to grant this freedom of expression. So the power is with the people. And that is why most governments that are collapsing in Africa cannot realize that power belongs to the people and the people can take it back, whether you like it or not. Look at the number of soldiers for example, in Tanzania. Even the army, the police, all combined, they cannot be more than the Tanzanians themselves. They cannot be more than the Tanzanians themselves. So this is something that oh, Marabel, oh, you want a link, please? Okay, I'll send you the link in just a minute. And thank you guys for tuning in on Africa. I've sent the link if you want to join me on the show. Link ndio hiyo nimewatumia hapo. You can subscribe on Africa 24 so that you can join this particular in conversation, because we have to send this message out there for people to understand what is happening in Tanzania. Saizi, as we speak, there's no food, hakuna chakula, wapati wale wa Tanzania, and most of the things, telecommunication shops have been banned. There is so much that is happening in that particular country. Oh, Joseph. All right, Joseph, good morning. Karibu sana on 60 Minutes. And how have you been, my brother?
Good morning, my brother. I think you you don't know my name down there. It always confuses you
No,
sometimes.
no, it always comes as Joseph. Yeah.
No, I'm saying in the chat. Maybe you thought it's someone else.
No, oh, yeah, every time, every time when you send that thing, it comes as who? It comes
Yeah,
as
Malbella one.
Marabella number one. And then I'm wondering who is this Marabella? But anyway, welcome to the discussion. Today we are discussing about Tanzania. You've seen what is happening in Tanzania, Joseph, yeah? And
Yes,
it is a sad scenario. We have seen what we used to see. I think the replica is what we saw in Kenya in 2007. What do you make with the whole situation from where you are? Do you have friends in Tanzania? First off,
yeah, I think I have one of my friends. The wife is from Tanzania, and
hmm
truly, what is happening in Tanzania is unprecedented because I've
mm,
never seen something like this ever in my life. You
yeah,
can never have a president who has won by, it is shocking that you have 32 million people and 31 million people have voted. I've never had an election ever like that. Even in the US, I've never had.
mm,
Tell me anywhere you have seen an election where it is 90, is almost
mm,
90%.
90,
Where have you
90,
ever seen it?
98% of the people have voted, and they have voted for the lady who seems to be so unpopular. Mm?
It's so shocking. Even when you try to rig an election, you don't rig
You
it that way.
unariga hata na akili kidogo, unajua.
Yeah, unajaribu even what Samia could have done.
Mm.
What Samia could have done was this. Angeachilia kina Tundu Lissu waran. Then what she could have done, she could have rigged the election from them. That is what it was easy for her to do. She could
I
have
think
rigged it from them and nobody could be talking. But now Even the problem is Tanzania. They can say that the constitution does not take them to court or nothing
Yeah, yeah,
happens
yeah.
to
There is
the
nowhere you'll
president.
take her. I mean, once the elections have been, the victory has been declared by the electoral commission. There's nowhere beyond. You can't take her anywhere.
Yeah,
You
but the
can't.
problem is
That's the law.
she has already damaged her image now to the world.
I,
The
th-
way
I
people
think.
knew her is
Do you
not the
think
same
she
way that
cares about that? Do you think these leaders really care about? Just do you
I
think
think she
that
needs
they
to
care?
care because Mzalendo, within the way politics are going, she needs to care because I have seen Trump has said he's going to enter in Nigeria. You have seen that story
Yeah, yeah,
that
yeah.
Trump has said he's going to Nigeria.
Yeah. Trump said that the atrocities happening to Christians in Nigeria is just too much, and I think this is something that has been going on for a very long time. Uh, Christians being killed just because of their religion. That is something that should not happen at all. At all. You should practice any kind of religion, so long as you're not interfering with your neighbor. You should be allowed to practice whatever faith you are in. So I think this is a good gesture, and this is one of the things that sometimes I say Trump is doing the best thing that he can. I mean, nobody in Africa has ever spoken about the Christians who are being killed, and most of the countries in Africa are most of these leaders are Christian, including
Yeah,
your president. Yeah.
yeah,
Mm,
that's what I was saying now. That one, the replica can happen in Tanzania because
mm.
Trump can say that this lady is not democratic enough. And when they start sanction on Tanzania, I think Tanzania economy will collapse because some of these countries they always zinategemea funding from the West countries.
Now
Most of the African countries.
Joseph. Funnily, uh, atrocities have been there. Even the most celebrated people like I think Nyerere was good, but after Nyerere, people like Magufuli, uh, they committed some atrocities. You could not oppose Magufuli and go scot free.
Yeah,
Did you know that but
yeah,
there is somehow he silence his opponents, just but this lady has gone a notch higher, you
yeah.
know.
That's what I was saying. Magufuli, at least Magufuli, Magufuli even allowed his opponents to to even if it was not going to the front race. He's
Yes.
what he did, but he allowed them. Angalau waende. This lady has even refused them to go to the ballot. You know, and that's why what is making people even more scary. Yeah?
Mm.
You told me that maybe she does not care, but the one thing that is supposed to make her care is people now are afraid of women leadership now.
No,
All over
yeah,
the world
yeah.
now, people will be
But
afraid of women
we should
leadership
be
because
worried about women leadership. I mean, this
because
is
if you
dangerous.
see Zalendo, how many
Mm.
women have we had and they have been bad in leadership? We have the one who was in Bangladesh. She was removed in leadership because she was bad. We have this one who is stealing election in Tanzania. We have another one who was there in Liberia. Is it Liberia?
Hmm.
It's called who? Yeah. Also was the same issue. So I think even people now are not. I don't think even they'll come close to power again because people are afraid of women leadership nowadays. Because if this woman can do exactly a notch higher than what a man can do. So what does it mean? I'm even afraid for my country. I cannot vote for a woman leader as a president because if this is the replica we can see in Tanzania, what can we see in Kenya, my brother? So she can be, she does not care. It's okay. She took the power. It's okay. But I don't know how the constitution in the Tanzania says about term limits because she has already gone for two years. I don't
No,
know
this is.
what it
I think
says
this is
further.
the last term. This is the last term. This is the
Or
last.
if it's the last time, is okay. Let her do what she
Yeah,
wants.
this is the last term, and should be out of it. But now these leaders are going to go scot free after the killings that have happened in Tanzania. She's not going to be taken anywhere. It's just normal. And you know the sad part about it. We have got a body called the African Union. that body should be disbanded. What does it do?
I
AU
was
na
talking in another program. It is a toothless body. How can even you congratulate a president who is not democratic enough? How can you, as a chair of the EU, congratulate a person who you know even the election is mad in fraud? Even the international bodies and everything have said the election was fraud. How can you go ahead and? I think this body should. It does not work
I
for our
mean,
interest.
I mean,
What has it done for us?
these
What?
guys,
So
these guys should go. I don't know why even we should be spending a lot of money to run that body called AU. They can't even stop the war in Sudan. Yeah,
they
they're
cannot.
doing
Even the
nothing.
coups that are
They
happening in
cannot
West
even, they are
Africa,
not
they
even
can't.
providing relief food in that particular area. Yeah, right
It's sad.
now
It's sad.
Tanzanians are starving. Food cannot, you can't get, they can't get access to food, just basic food.
And it's a shame, Zalendo. I think you saw the other day. They are talking about Gaza. I wondered how can you be talking about Gaza? You are an African Union, for Christ's sake. You cannot even be able to deal with the issues in Africa, but you want to talk about issues which are in the Middle East.
Beyond you,
What kind of
yeah,
nonsense is that?
beyond you, there is nothing that you can do in whatever is happening in Gaza. Maybe just to pray for the people between Israel and Palestine to have some
Yeah.
kind of peace. That's the only thing that you can do. But these are, you know what is so annoying? The military in Africa. I was looking at the statistics of military now. Even if Samia Suluhu could mobilize his entire army, they cannot even be they cannot even be more than 300,000 soldiers
Mm.
on the street.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
cannot. They cannot.
Yes.
And look at the population of Tanzanians out there. I mean, if people want to take power, they will take it out. They will take it with whatever way. You can't kill
Mm.
everybody else. Mm?
Yeah.
And these
So
African leaders should know that the time is up. Their time is up, and they should be able to accept that, unajua, hey, mimi enyewe hii kazi imenishinda. Tafadhali Watanzania, naomba msamaha. Mimi kazi imenishinda, mfanye uchaguzi mwema na nchi iendelee. Because
lakini
CCM
sasa
CCM feels that they own Tanzania, ni yao, unajua. Mm?
kama yao. That's why I'm saying, brother brother Mzalendo, how do you think
Mm?
African leaders can lead leadership? If there is another one there in Cameroon, is already 90 years. He cannot even be able
Angalia
to
huyo,
lead.
he was campaigning, alikuwa na campaign akiwa Switzerland sijui. He was campaigning while he was in he won the election while he's out of the country. Didn't so,
Sasa sisi tuko na
no,
mashida mingi Mzalendo in Africa.
wacha the age is 80 sijui something years old. The speaker sijui ni 90 what. The vice president is 91.
I saw even a military man. Did you see the military guy? Is 80. I saw another military officer. I even was
80,
shocked.
yani hata huyo akiona jet fighter ikipita hivi anauliza hiyo ni nini? Hiyo ni ndege ama hiyo ni nini? Hiyo ni
So
nini imepita hapa?
tuko na mashida mingi sana. And another one I was even shocked that the son is the vice president. I
Hmm?
think is Equatorial Guinea. The son is the vice president. The father is the president, the son is the vice president. I think we
Wewe,
have a long way to go as
no,
Africa.
no, no. Just now you see the problem. You see the problems in Africa. Now you are seeing it in other countries. Wacha hii yetu ni afadhali kidogo. Now look at the problems in other African countries. Hmm?
I think Kenya is far off. Kenya Kenya is
Kenya
far
we
off.
are trying.
I
We are
think
trying.
even the MPs
Kuna
who are
mashida
saying that
zetu,
they cannot
lakini
run town.
lakini there's some nonsense that we cannot
I
tolerate.
think even the MPs in Tanzania who are saying they cannot learn anything from Kenya, I think they are ashamed now because how can you have a constitution that says that you cannot challenge a presidential election? How? In the 21st
Imagine.
century. In the 21st century,
And
I
why
even
do we
checked
even have this? And they have a Supreme Court. Hmm?
these things, I'm telling you, Tanzania needs to change and change for the better. I think even if Suluhu has entered there, I think the people are going to pressure her to bring a new constitution.
I,
Let
I,
her,
I,
let her rule, but people are
so
going to pressure her to bring a new
sometimes
constitution.
I always say that even when you see bad leaders like Sulu, there is something good that they will bring on the table. After causing all these atrocities, then she will be the gateway to a new constitution in Tanzania that allows multi-party democracy and freedom of expression and speech. Although they have those things in their constitution, they don't practice them. They need to overhaul that constitution completely, so that it can reflect the image of Tanzania. Ile heshima watu wamekuwa nayo na Tanzania, it's all gone because of this lady. Hmm?
I think she has damaged the image of even the country further. This lady, I don't know. I cannot say any other thing because within the way I've explained to you, there is no election that has ever been done like that in the whole world. There is no election that has ever been done like that. That you are winning an election with 98%. I think she has a very tough decision to make because as she's going forward, also the biggest problem is what Zalendo. She's
Mm.
from Zanzibar. She's from Zanzibar, and the people she's ruling most majority are from Tanganyika. And I think now,
Oh, that is
if they're gonna
again
go
where
to,
the problem lies. She's from Zanzibar. Eh?
yeah,
Uh,
and the way as it continues, I see that country, if it
do, you,
continues the
do you
same way
know
it is
that
going to go.
Zanzibar held their elections also, and they elected a president? I don't know how that thing works. Zanzibar,
Yeah, I
Zanzibar.
think the president in Zanzibar becomes the prime minister. Then the president in Tanganyika, because that is what we say, because ni bara, they call it bara, he becomes
Mm.
the president. Then Mwinyi will become the prime minister.
Yeah,
But
and
now it means two of the
Mwinyi,
people are from Zanzibar.
yeah, Mwinyi was the son of the former president of Tanzania, Ali Hassan Mwinyi. Did,
Tanzania has a long way to go. But I
did you
think they
know?
were fair. Unajua Tanzania inakaa kama nini mzalendo, if you like
Mm.
to notice Tanzania inakaa kama North Korea. Tanzania was fed too much lies. Walikuwa wanadanganywa too much lies, ati msikuwe kama majirani zetu wameharibu nchi. Hawa watu
Mama
wafukavu
yo
kabisa
ongea hivyo,
wameharibu.
yo ongea,
So,
msiwe kama majirani wetu kule Kenya wameharibu nchi yao, wanakuja
so
kutuletea yale mabaya wamekuwa nayo huko na kuambia watu wetu wawe kama huyu mama bwana, she needs to go.
that's
Maana
what I'm saying. They look like North Korea. North Korea, when the people from North Korea go to South Korea,
yes,
some of them who are able to go to South Korea, they see the developments in the 21st century. They say, wow, this is the things that we are missing in our country. I think now Tanzania, most of them, when they started this demonstration, they saw kweli hizi ndizo mambo tumekuwa tukimiss. Kweli tukiweza ongea, kumbe tunaweza fanya kitu. And I know it is going to continue. The demonstration are going to continue until they get a new constitution.
and let
I'm
me tell
telling you,
you,
this
let
was
me tell
itaendelea
you,
mpaka wakati.
now you guys, you now appreciate the power of social media. These things started as a small conversation, like, oh, nyinyi wa Tanzania, nyinyi wa Tanzania mwezi demonstrate. Now Tanzania said that we can prove it. Yeah, the university students were on the streets. All the young people were on the streets. These people called it the Gen Zs. Ogopeni hao watu wanaitwa Gen Zs. I always tell people, wacheni ati these Gen Zs are not picking votes, sijui nini. Gen Zs are the ones who are going to shape the politics in Africa, and especially here in East Africa, because that is a new tribe that is defining the role of these leaders. Their expectations are so high. There is another generation of millennials whose expectations were so low when it comes to electing leaders. Either they elect them by tribe or regions where they come from, or political parties, but they don't look at the policies that these leaders are bringing on the table. Mm?
Yeah, I think that one also is an issue, Mzalendo. I
Mm.
think in Tanzania, I was talking to another person and telling them Tanzania shida hata si mambo na kuwa ati wanataka hawataki ama wanataka mama. The problem is this lady has governor is nini, hakuna njia ya hawa vijana ya kuingia kwa serikali. The problem that is happening with Gen Z, they don't have a chances for even work and anything. Now go to Cameroon, like let's take example of Cameroon. You tell me that even these guys, they are 90, 80, they don't want even to retire. And we have youths who are supposed to be told that they are the leaders of tomorrow. Which tomorrow are you talking about to them? If you're telling them they're the leaders of tomorrow, which tomorrow is it? So I think Kenya opened a gateway to so much things that have happened in the world, because that is what happened. Kenya opened a gateway to many things that have happened, and I think so many people have been able to liberate their countries through this one. And the 21st century leaders need to know that you cannot rule with an iron fist, my brother. You
You
cannot
know,
rule with an iron fist now. It's changing.
the message is very, very clear. These youths are not afraid. Yeah,
Yeah.
they have lost internet, but they are saying it just for a moment. Mm?
Mm.
They have lost their leaders, and they are saying that we will get other leaders. And that those are the things that they were chanting. And
Yeah.
they are marching everywhere. Ukienda Twitter, Nini, Tanzanians in the diaspora, they are talking about it. They are saying that, oh, this lady has to go. I mean, they can't reach their counterparts to be told what is up. I had a conversation with the lady yesterday, a friend of mine, and she told me that what is happening in Tanzania right now, the soldiers that you're seeing, the ones that you're seeing, the army officers that you're seeing on the streets, that is just part of the army. The main barracks have been blocked. Amefungia au wanajeshi kwa barracks. But what they're saying silently is that it's just a matter of time. Remember that TikTok video of this soldier who came out akikashifu Suluhu, and
Yeah,
it was,
I know
yeah,
the soldier. His name, I know even his name. I'm forgetting his
I
name.
forgot.
I
And
know.
yeah. Do you know that guy disappeared? Hajawahi onekana.
He was taken.
First akafutwa kazi. To date, he has never been. What wajui mali yuko?
I thought he was still there. He was taken. He had taken his tour because I thought he was still there.
Nobody knows his whereabouts, my brother. Now this other guy, I don't know. I don't know whether you've seen this.
Jeshi la Polisi Tanzania limepata taarifa za watu ambao sio raia wa Tanzania kuwa wameingia nchini kwa njia zisizo rasmi kwa nia ya kufanya uhalifu ikiwepo vurugu. Watu hao wanajifanya kuwa wanafanya shughuli mbalimbali ikiwepo bodaboda. Taarifa zinasema watu hao wapo katika mikoa ya Arusha, Dar es Salaam, Mbeya, Mwanza, Songwe na mikoa mingineyo. Wakati jeshi la polisi linaendelea kuwafuatilia ili kuwachukulia hatua kali kwa mujibu wa sheria, mwananchi yoyote ambaye amempangisha au anaishi na raia yoyote wa kigeni asiyefahamika na anafanya shughuli gani na mienendo yake ni ya kutia mashaka, atoe taarifa haraka sana kwa viongozi wa serikali za mitaa, wakuu wa vituo vya polisi, wakuu wa polisi wa wilaya, makamanda wa polisi mikoa, au atoe taarifa kwa kupiga simu kupitia namba 0699998899. Asipotoa taarifa na watu hao wakikutwa nyumbani kwake au kwenye biashara yake, hatua kali za kisheria zitachukuliwa dhidi yake. Jeshi la polisi linaendelea kuhakikishia wananchi kuwa kwa kushirikiana na vyombo vingine vya ulinzi na usalama vinaendelea kuhakikisha taifa letu linaendelea kuwa salama na lenye amani.
Boss, wasikia vile Watanzania wako bana.
Nilikwambia yuko ni North Korea ukakataa kusikia. That is North Korea in the
I like your description of Tanzania. You're saying it's like North Korea.
Yeah, it's no different. In North Korea is where I was seeing a video right now. Even I've seen it. I don't know if I knew we were going to discuss this. I've seen in North Korea when you enter into an aeroplane and when you land there, that you are given even a person to be with you, akuwe na wewe as a foreigner, he needs to notice everything and he needs to report to the police or the people who they are supposed, the government people.
Oh,
They're supposed to report what you do.
yani ukifika North Korea, yani we hakuna utalii huko, there is no there is nothing to
Utaenda tu utalii, hata utasumbuliwa, lakini lazima wajue kile unafaa, everything you are doing at that time, every time you need to have that one. Ni kama you are, let's say bodyguard, ni kama si hata si
ni
bodyguard,
kama
ni
guide
yeah,
anakuguide.
guide, yeah, you have a good nini, hata wamesema guide is like your guide. So I think it's the same thing hapa in Tanzania. How can you say that when you see a foreigner that ati unafaa uripoti kwa polisi? I think Tanzania people are supposed to be there, some doing their businesses and what.
No, we have
So
got open borders. East Africa walifungua maboda. And Tanzania, for a very long time, they were reluctant to open their border. It is one of the countries in East Africa that you cannot, hauwezi ingia tu Tanzania hivyo, lazima ukuwe na passport, lazima ukuwe na ile yellow fever vaccine. Wanahitaji vitu mingi sana ndio ingie katika ile mji wa Tanzania.
sasa
And
kuna shida mingi
they also
sana.
ingia hapo, they also have to indicate what you are going to do in Tanzania.
Yeah, if I've told now what is that mzalendo, hiyo ni nini? Si ni North Korea.
I've been
Nimekuwa nikikwambia hapa North Korea. You're giving me all the explanations.
I've been to Arusha many times, and it's always like that at the border in Namanga. You're told so many other things. While Kenya, the president is opening the borders. These guys, it's not easy to go into their country. Not easy to go into their country.
And I loved your foot of thought when I came. You were saying that it might spill over in Uganda. I saw that guy called Muhozi saying that that they try what they did in Tanzania. They are going to see, I don't know what wataona sijui moto ama nini. I'm telling this guy, you see 20, because Uganda also has an election after 3 months, after 2 months, 1 month even, not 2 months. Next month only. They only have 1 month.
December hivi they're choosing wanachagua rais.
In January, wanachagua
January watakuwa na president mpya. Lakini most likely they will rig the elections in favor of Museveni.
Let them try. I'm telling you, let them try. I'm telling you, people now, in the world
Tanzania again in Uganda, Kizza Besigye ako ndani. I don't know what kind of threat that Kizza Besigye is posing to Museveni.
Lakini Museveni naye anajua kucheza siasa yake mzalendo. Unajua hashikagi.
You know, I saw another video.
Bobby Wine siku.
No, niliona a video ingine ya Museveni, and sometimes I always say yes, he wants to be in power for the longest time, but there are things that I think akona kautu fulani. Museveni kakona utu kidogo that is left in him, because kama in Tanzania, in Uganda, he was showing his soldiers that you don't shoot protesters with a bullet. He was demonstrating to them. The soldiers, he was demonstrating, and they used rubber bullets in Uganda. Yeah, in Uganda, even those protests do happen, but you don't hear how many people have been killed and all that. Although the ziko, lakini si sana kama hii nchi zingine kama Kenya na sasa hii nchi ya Tanzania.
Lakini mama inamaanisha mama ni dictator mbaya sana bwana.
Unajua tulikuwa tunaona kama Martha Karua anaweza kuwa rais ama ule Gladys Wanga anaweza kuwa rais.
Martha Karua pia yeye ana roho kama ya huyu mama. Mimi siwezi
kataa. Watu wanatumaliza.
Hata mimi nimestuka. Ndio ninakwambia mimi siwezi kapigia mwanamke kuwa rais. Nikawabokia wakuwe ma MP na hizi vitu zingine, lakini
tuseme hivi. Kuna wale wanawake wale wazuri kwa uongozi wako, lakini bado tujawaona. Kama ule Bi Charity Ngilu angekuwa kiongozi bora sana, angekuwa amepata kiti ya urais. Tulikuwa na wanawake kama Phoebe Asio, ni wanawake walikuwa na nidhamu kwa siasa na walipiga siasa yao kwa utaratibu. Kulikuwa na Grace Ogot. Hao ni wanawake ambao walikabiliana na wanaume na wakashinda maviti. but ulikuwa unaona mienendo yao, unaona harakati zao, na hata watu kama anaitwaje huyu Nobel laureate anaitwaje,
Wangari
Wangari
Maathai.
Maathai. Wangari Maathai alipiga pia siasa, lakini siasa yake ilikuwa ni policy. Kuna generation ya wamama wale walipiga siasa ya
Lakini
policy
sasa
na
hiyo hao ni
maendeleo,
wa hiyo enzi, bwana mzalendo. Saa hizi unaona hii
lakini
enzi hivi unaona
hii enzi yetu hii kuna wimbo wa rege moja inaenda woman ruler. Sijui kama umesikia woman ruler. Hmm?
nimesikia ni ya Roderaro ile anasemaga I like Roderaro songs. You know, he talks in
When
parables, lakini
yeah,
akikwambia
when women are given power, they will be organizing beauty contest for we men. Eh?
I love the songs by Roderaro because even
And
that one for love is like driving, eh?
and
You know,
and when you get home, you are told to wash the dishes. Yeah.
yeah. And she has to go for something.
Yeah.
Ninasahau na it was very good, eh? But
And you will be carrying the pregnancy for wow. Okay, viewers, if you've not
but this guy talking in this sense, that guy was talking in alikuwa anaongea na parables when he was singing, but it was
no,
very serious. Eh?
that song has got a lot of message, and it resonates well even with the way people live in our houses, in the way women nowadays behave. I mean, unaona hiyo wimbo yake bana inaingiana sana. Now look at Mama Samia. People, I thought that this lady, she's very very a respectable woman. I thought she would not even engage in that kind of violence for people in Tanzania. I mean, it's unacceptable. She has written a very dark chapter in Tanzanian politics, and history will always judge these leaders. I don't know whether they care about the history. I don't know whether they care when the books will be written. That wewe ulikuwa rais wa Tanzania wakati huu, kuna watu zaidi ya 700 walipoteza maisha yao wakiwa wewe ndio ulikuwa rais. I don't Do they really care? Yeah. Or I mean, now she suffers a crisis of legitimacy. Nobody will recognize our government. Hmm? I mean, power. Let's talk about power. What do they need this power for? Ni nini? CCM jameni has ruled since independence in Tanzania. Uh, the only thing they know is how to rig and win election, but it does not know one thing: how to lead the people of Tanzania. They don't know. Things have really changed. They can rig elections, but things have really, really changed. Viewers, if you're watching, I can see almost 111 people watching from Mtembei X page. If you've not subscribed on Afrique 24, Afrique X page, thank you very much, guys, for tuning in on this particular edition of Afrique. Today, we are discussing about the democratic crisis in Tanzania. And I wish you guys could step so that I could see your comments here on Afrique 24. Go to our YouTube page, make sure that you subscribe to Afrique 24. I'll share the link out there so that you can subscribe ili tuweze kuwa na mazungumzo dhidi ya hii siasa inafanyika huku Afrika. And more so now that President Samia is already been sworn in as the president of Tanzania, but the people are saying no. When the opposition is silent, victory becomes a question mark on your leadership. So don't silence the opposition, thinking that you'll get legitimacy. Now we have Tundu Lisu. a leading opposition figure in Tanzania. He still remains in custody, charged with treason. His trial has been postponed 5 times. Yani mara tano. Over 200 activists and journalists have disappeared. Sijasema wako wamedisappear, yani hawapatikani. 200 activists and journalists have disappeared. Some of them abducted in broad daylight. Others just vanished without a trace, of course. And the courts are silent. The National Election Act in Tanzania has got very little clarity. Petitions are often delayed. Justice is deferred, and that is what is happening to the people like Tundulusu who are in custody. You want your case to be heard, you want them to sentence you hata kama ni hiyo treason, but every time your lawyers go to court unaambiwa we are still investigating your case. Now, this other body called the African Union, that is another blind body, yani blindfolded kabisa. I don't even know why we have this thing called African Union. That thing should be banned completely. It has got nothing to do with Africa. It is not helping us at all at all. Leaders, please rise up. Don't give this body any money. There is nothing that they are helping your country with. Mm. They are just seated in Addis Ababa. They are doing nothing. Their verdict is that elections in Tanzania were free and fair. The African Union already has declared that the elections in Tanzania were free and fair. The world is saying, no, they were not free and fair. We are seeing clips, we are seeing violence, we are seeing ballots being banned. Our opposition leader has been locked out. This damn body called the African Union is still saying that the the elections were free and fair. They are saying the internet has been shut down. The elections were free and fair. And the bullets are raining in the streets, and they are saying the elections were free and fair. What kind of endorsement is this? If there is something that should make you annoyed as an African, is the election that is happening in Tanzania. And the African Union, whatever they said was just premature and dangerous, very, very dangerous. And this will annoy the people of Tanzania even more. Hmm? Na I think AU iko na maofisi pale Arusha. Hmm? Now, when institutions fail, it is the people who must rise up. Mkae mkijua hivyo. And when the ballot is blocked, now the people start protesting. And they protest with their bodies. That is why you see these young people on the streets. They are ready to die for their country. Yani, usione hao vijana wakiprotest ya kuwa hawapendi nchi yao. Wanapenda nchi yao kushinda viongozi wao, na viongozi wameshindwa na kazi, and they want to occupy that space, and they are ready to occupy it na liwe liwalo. Joseph, vipi bana kaka?
Sorry, I had lost for some minutes on some
No,
engagement.
kazi kwanza bana. Mm?
Yeah, so that is what happening, brother. Is what is happening in African countries, and it's an issue. And we hope, tunaomba sana that leaders can see, but I don't think they can see because they are blinded with power and money. They like power, money, and they want to. I saw another son for another president in Africa. He was there in the Europe.
Mm.
Even did that one. You see in Sudan, the massacre that is going on. Do you see the kids of RSF leader, this god Hemedi? You know Hemedi? This RSF leader.
They are not
The
there.
kids are,
Where are they? They are. Do you think they can be in Sudan?
no, I'm saying they're in Europe. They are saying that they are the richest people in the world, in Africa. That is what they are bragging because they stole the gold that is there. Hemedi occupied the area that was full of gold. Ile side ilikuwa na gold,
Uh,
and they are the ones still doing work with that's why you hear there is a problem between Sudan and UAE. Why? Because Sudan does not want to go, UAE does not want to go through the light channels of UAE. Unajua wakisema ati wataanza kuuza gold na jeshi itawaambia we need to go through the books, but if they are going to use the RSF, a guy was asking a question. uh, the army, when they do these atrocities, they are going to be taken, yani mambo yao ya atrocities itakuwa ikiangaliwa vizuri sana na international community, and they are going to be taken, watachajiwa within the international community law. But what
mm,
about the RSF? Because this is not a body that is known.
mm.
RSF, what is the body RSF? RSF is not part of the army. So what does it mean? Is it a militia? Is it somehow like a kind of militia? Because tunajua jeshi ndio inakuwa imesimamia ulinzi wa nchi. So RSF, what is it initially, by the way? Ni jeshi, what are they? What is their work? That's why now he was saying they cannot be able to hawezi kaweza kuwaweka kwa laini into the international community sanctions, kuwa nini, kuwatupia kesi, kwa sababu these guys they are not known, hawajulikani. They only know the leader, and that's why you hear even the leader is talking and saying that I'm going to look at these guys, the ones who are doing atrocities. Utatuambia, utaangalia about the atrocities and already your people are committing them.
Mm-hmm.
Unajua watu hawana namba ya jeshi, ati vile utaambia mtu bwana mzalendo ati
Mm.
kuna mjeshi fulani alikuwa ameonekana na hii nini, anaitwa fulani, namba yake ni fulani, anaweza kujua, utawakujua wanatoka wapi? How do you know them?
Mm-hmm.
RSF was another group called Janjaweed. Silikuwa inaitwa Janjaweed. It was
Yeah.
Janjaweed. It was an illegal group. So that is clearly the issue that is happening in these countries. And now the point even was hao watoto wao wako huko Europe countries saying that they are the rich, and they are taking money which is money which is coming from blood money. And
Yeah.
it's the same thing that is happening. It is Christians who have been massacred.
Yeah.
There's a
You see
famous.
what happened? Like I had sometimes last week there is a congressman who raised the issue of Darfur in Congress, and they said the two factions are being supported by countries in Africa. Their countries, the UAE has got its side they are supporting, and many other countries are supporting those factions, the rebels in Darfur, and the world needs to do something about those militia groups, the two militia groups that are fighting in Darfur. So that is an issue I think that needs to be resolved so that the peace, everlasting peace, can be found in Sudan. Sudan is one of the richest countries in Africa.
Mm.
It has got oil and
Gold.
gold too. Do you remember the story of the tallow oil that is bordered? Do you know that the tallow oil that was found in northeastern? Do you know the story? Do you know what
No, I
happened to
don't
that?
know the story. I don't know the story.
Do you know what happened to that oil? Now that oil, that that oil that the government was supposedly found in Turkana. Kumbe, that the way oil can spill over. They run underground like to rivers and all that. So the Sudanese belt, the plateau, the oil was overflowing into Kenya. So when they started extracting their oil, Kenya could not get oil anymore. So whatever they were somebody in Sudan, imagine, yani unaona Sudan iko hivi. So hiyo so when they were not mining, so there was too much oil that ina spill ikikuja pande ya Kenya. Hmm? So when they started extracting their oil, so Kenyans could not get any oil anymore. So they didn't actually.
And so it means there is no oil in Kenya.
There's no
It was
oil.
just a
Yeah,
fallacy.
from a reliable source, somebody told me there was no oil. A Sudanese told me when we realized that Turkana and Sudan are my neighbor. When we
Mm.
realized that this is the oil that they are claiming it's ours, then we started getting the oil. So they don't have any oil. Hiyo mambo iliisha hivyo.
Walichota kwa ile ndoo ilikuwa ina overflow, wakachota ikakosa
Sasa
kumwaga.
unajua yani vile ina spill ikikuja pande ya Kenya, wakaziba wakaziba, wakaanza kuchukua oil yao. Sasa hakuna ile inamwagika
But
ikikuja
I
pande
think
hii ya
that
Kenya.
oil that they mined, politicians walikula hiyo pesa sana. Hiyo wakati ya Uhuru walikula hiyo spillover, walikula hiyo pesa, si ndio?
Hiyo
Hata
pesa
kama
naye
ilikuwa
maybe
na
walikula, na hiyo pesa mingi hii ya bado mining inaendelea. By hiyo we need to find out what is happening to tall oil.
I'm going to do some investigation.
Yeah, you
Nimestuka
need to
sana.
do some research.
I never knew.
These are some projects that ran into billions and billions of shillings, and nobody really cares what is happening. And no, and the reason even Ruto is not even talking about it. How many times have they been in Turkana?
So many times. I even wondered, I started to ask myself, Yani, we are saying we discovered oil, but we are still having shortages of fuel. You know,
And
that
and
thing.
Baka, when Ruto came into power, he was busy running up and down looking for oil where they can buy oil from
G2G,
other
the
countries.
G2G, the G2G.
G2G. Sasa hii oil yetu ilienda wapi? Hii Uhuru bana, lazima tuambie hii oil ilikuwa ni ya maji, ya bafu, oil ya
Lakini
Kenya ya
Kenya,
bafu. Hii Kenya
Kenya
pia
kuna shida.
inakuwaga na mambo
Kenya ina mambo. Kenya ina mambo. Na unasikia mpaka wanaweza uza nyundo. Uliona zile nyundo zilikuwa zinauzwa kama gold. Wamepaka nyundo rangi. Wamepakia
Wewe
nyundo rangi huku juu, wanauzia wa UAE.
wewe bana, unasema wewe, hii nchi ndio maana kuna wakati ndege mzima imebeba gold imeibiwa kutoka kwa airport inaitwaje, Congo. Ndege unaiba ndege imejaa gold, na Kapila akafuata ndege yake hakuwahi pata mpaka wa leo ha?
Kenya ni kunoma. I am telling you, I think we are very advanced. It's just that our country is that world country. I think we are very advanced in terms of these things. Ni vile tunaishi tu kwa nchi iko that world, but tuko very advanced
Wakenya
in
wachana
things.
nao, yani
And,
Wakenya
and,
wanaweza
and I was talking
ati
about Tanzania.
mm.
Unajua Wakenya mpaka wamefanya ukakuwa na demonstration Tanzania, mpaka wao wenyewe wanaenda kudemonstrate. You know, I've never seen a
No,
country like
you've heard this police officer saying that kuna Wakenya wamezuiwa pale kwa border. I mean, is it now being idle or we are so patriotic?
I
Okay,
think,
hebu
but I think
niambie
Tanzanians were
wewe George,
appreciating Kenyans.
wewe unaweza toka hapo Kenya, utoke Kenya uende demonstrate huko Tanzania, mahali hata hauna relative, hauna nini.
Unajua Wakenya nao wakisema watafanya kitu. Si unasikia walikuwa wanasema watacolonize Tanzania. You heard them saying that they are going to colonize Tanzania. So I think kitu ikiingia kwa akili za Kenyans, I think even the chief, I don't know if you saw the chief saying, sasa tusijaribu, ana beg watu, anaambia tafadhali tusiingie Tanzania, turudi tu kwetu. You saw the chief. They send even chiefs to try to plead with the Kenyans. But I
Eh?
think the Kenyans got angry. walikasirika saa zile waliona the people who are shot. You remember the people who are shot? There was two people who were shot, Kenyans. They were shot
Oh.
by Tanzania police officers. I think that is where now the problem started.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they shot two guys.
I didn't watch. I didn't watch that clip. There were people
They
who were.
shot. Tabwenda urudi clip. I think it is even in this our media houses. They shot, and when the people went to retrieve the body, the Tanzania policemen shot again. Walikuwa wanawapiga hata they could not retrieve the body.
Ah.
I saw the clip. I saw the clip with me, and I think
No.
that's a big issue.
Let's watch a bit of this before we wind up.
March 2021, Magufuli is dead. The government says it was a heart condition, though it'd been missing for weeks and everyone suspects COVID. Darkly ironic, since Magufuli spent months telling people COVID didn't exist. Magufuli was intense. They called him the bulldozer. He'd show up unannounced at government offices and fire people on live TV. He built roads, renegotiated mining contracts so Tanzania got more money instead of foreign companies, and stood up to the World Bank. Many people loved that. Finally, someone fighting for Tanzania. But he also went after anyone who criticized him. He arrested journalists, shut down newspapers, and banned opposition rallies. People either loved him or hated him, no in between. After being missing for 18 days, the government finally announced his death, but refused to let independent doctors examine his body. Did he really die from a heart problem? Or was he COVID? Whatever you thought of Magufi, it felt real. Like he actually cared about Tanzania. So when he died, there was genuine grief. 2 days after Magufuli's death, Samia Suluhu Hassan takes the oath. First woman to lead Tanzania. First woman to lead any East African country. She's from Zanzibar, the island archipelago of the coast. Worked her way up through local government to minister, then vice president under Magufuli. She was 61 when she suddenly became president. The symbolism was huge. The international media celebrated. Finally, a woman leader. Things will change. And at first, it actually looked promising. She lifted some media bans, released a few political prisoners, started talking to the opposition, and even admitted COVID was real and encouraged people to get vaccinated. After 5 years of Magufuli's bulldozer approach, this felt like fresh air. Diplomats smiling. Tanzania was back on track. But here's what nobody paid enough attention to. Samia didn't just inherit the presidency. She inherited a system. Wait, let me explain. The CCM, Chama cha Mapinduzi, Party of the Revolution in Swahili, has ruled Tanzania since 1977. That's 48 years. Every president has been CCM. Every parliament is dominated by the CCM. There are other parties. Elections happen. But somehow, CCM always wins. Every single time. This party was formed in 1977, right after independence.
All right, I think we've had enough of that lady. Umeona hiyo story ya Samia Suluhu, how she became in power, she pretended she was good to the people, and then all of a sudden, she
But
turned
there's
against.
something that lady has said, Bwana Mzalendo.
Mm.
I think also this lady inherited a system. I can believe with what she's saying
Yeah,
because the
yeah,
system
she
in
inherited a
Tanzania.
system that, and let me tell you, people in Tanzania tell me that uh, they are proxies. People like Kikwete, they still have got a lot of influence in what happens in government and who becomes the president. They still have they have a lot of influence that she doesn't rule just alone. There are people in CCM who tells her, hey, fanya hivi, hivi atufanyage hivi. unajua.
mm, mm.
Mm.
Yeah,
So
it's
even
true.
maybe her hands are tied to some extent. Yeah, she's inherited. You know, she didn't go through an election. Yeah, this would be her first election.
Mm. And
Unajua.
if you look at her career, the way she has risen up, si mtu
Mm.
ati ameanza tu you know, she was from the local government, and now she became a minister. And I even watched the clip when Magufuli appointed her as the vice president,
No,
and
she
said,
couldn't believe.
yeah, she could not believe because uh, I don't think even the people who are around her believed that, hey, huyu
No,
mama amefanywa vice president.
no, she. I remember just saying that maybe they did a mistake or something. She couldn't believe that she was going to be the vice president of Tanzania.
Yeah,
Hmm?
but I think that at some time Samia tried to change things in Tanzania,
No,
because
but
if you had that she was trying to unfree the media and do certain things, I think, you know, also there's things that Magufuli did that were not right. You know, Magufuli said that COVID is not real. Najua ndio nakwambia mzalendo huko ni kama North Korea na unisikii. Waliambia COVID ni uongo
na
na
hiyo
wakaambiwa
COVID,
COVID iko na wakabelieve hivyo, na wengi wao wakasema hapana, people died. But do you know, after Magufuli died, walikuja wakaambiwa COVID is real, and they started saying COVID is real. What is that? What is
today I posted something. Have you had after Baba died, may his soul rest in peace. Now people are saying, people from the Luo community are saying that, there is something called juogi. Have you heard of something called
yeah,
juogi
yeah.
in
I have heard you.
uh, so people believe that there is that spirit, yeah, that anoints a leader, and it's called juogi. Now, this spirit, now I was interrogating this spirit. Is it a good spirit, or is it a evil spirit?
And you
So
know, even Japan, they have, it's China, they have the same issue, the same. They also have like that Jew,
yeah,
but they have a different one. They say that a dragon comes and anoints the spirit. There is a good dragon and a bad one.
yeah, there's a good, yeah. So this yogi thing is real, and I'm telling you, is real. Now there are people who practice that act,
Mm.
but there are people who are also anointed to practice that yogi thing. You understand? Now, the
Yeah.
people who practice this thing called juogi are called jojuok. These are guys who now are possess the evil side of juogi. So
George.
there are two spirits here. There's somebody who wishes you, who can do bad things to you, yeah, and he also possesses that spirit. Now, for people to wait for a bad spirit to anoint a leader, I think that is insane. You know, I that is completely insane. So I don't know whether. Uh, so I've been trying to get an explanation for this, so that I can internalize and really understand
You
that.
think Mama Samia has the bad side of George?
Now, yeah. So now there are leaders who come, who are brought by those juogi, and they become bad leaders. Yes, that is witchcraft. That is witchcraft. Hmm? That is witchcraft.
That is a problem. But I think the issue is really, my brother. The issue is really small minority leading the big minority. Is always going to have a problem. You see, even Ethiopia. I think you remember Ethiopia the other day. They had an issue. It's just 3 years ago when we had the the this guy. He's called what? This guy for the prime minister of Ethiopia. I'm forgetting his name.
Mm,
He comes from the minority tribe. So the Asmara there, I think the
mm,
Asmara and some other tribes, they are the majority in Ethiopia. So
mm,
I think there is a very big issue. They say that this guy cannot be ruling us. How will he be ruling us and we are the majority? I think these things are
That,
happening all over.
same
You can
thing.
say
Same thing.
there is no tribalism, but the tribalism is inaweza kuwa si tribalism ya community, but it's a tribalism, another kind of tribalism that is regional or in a dimension. Like in Tanzania, it is regional now, because when you hear them talking about Zanzibar and Tanganyika, that is tribalism,
No,
but
but you
people don't see
see,
it.
the beauty about Tanzania, Nyerere finished what we call tribalism. Yani, Tanzania ina makabila mengi kushinda Kenya. That is
Mm.
one thing that you have to know.
Yeah.
But now they speak one language. They believe in Ujamaa that was introduced by Mwalimu Julius Nyerere. And they've been governed by that kind of philosophy for a very long time. Now they don't have this tribal nonsense that we have here in Kenya, where you have a region that is controlled by Kikuyus, you have a region controlled by Kambas, you have another one controlled by Luos, you have another one controlled by Kalenjin. They don't have that. Now, why it's going to be very, very difficult even for Samia to rule that particular country is because everybody is resisting this president from all the regions, and wamekuja pamoja kama Watanzania, si kabila fulani. Unaona, that is now the danger. And now you introduce something called regional. Yeah, anatoka Zanzibar. Now if they introduce that, the Zanzibar ni minority, then now it becomes now a regional affair. Wale wa Zanzibar, they will be defending her, and now vice president unasema anatoka Zanzibar na president anatoka pia Zanzibar. Ai, haiwezekani.
But have you seen there was no
No,
demonstration in Zanzibar?
for a very long time, listen, for a very long time, Tanzania have been trying to balance in between Christian and Muslim religions. If the president is Muslim, then the deputy must be a Christian. I don't know whether you've seen that happening in Tanzania politics.
Yeah, it is there, and that's why I was saying. Also, it happens. Unajua watu wako Zanzibar wengi wao with their Muslims. That is what happens. Wengi
Yes,
wale wako Zanzibar,
they have
most of
to
them.
balance. They are
Yeah, that's
balancing.
why they balance. But I was asking you this question. Did you see Zanzibar? There was not any single demonstrations. In
Amna.
Zanzibar, there was no. That's why I'm telling you. When they look at these things, I'm praying for Tanzania ikue kitu united kabisa, so that they can fight with this one, with these inequalities that they are having.
Mhm.
But I see a place where it is going to go a disintegration of the Zanzibar in Tanganyika. Sijui kwa nini I'm seeing that one in the near future, but I'm praying for them. That is what I'm praying for them, that they are going to unite, because it is people who are making them disunite. People like Samia and the people like the likes of Akina Mwinyi. They're the ones who, and it's happening also in Kenya. It's happening everywhere. There is no place that this thing is not happening. Hata huko US, Bwana Mzalendo, you can see how the Democrats are doing it. You can see how the
I
Democrats are
mean,
really doing it.
yeah,
You,
yeah. I
everything
mean,
that Trump does, it is a problem. Everything he does, si mzuri, si mzuri.
yeah, kuna division, and that is what politics is all about. Anyway, guys, I think we need to end this show right now. We have done 1 hour of this particular edition. Tomorrow we have a very powerful show that is coming later in the afternoon. I think Joseph, you can join me. We'll be analyzing what is next for ODM political movement. I see that there is a lot of pulling yeah, here and there. Everybody is seeking an attention. Others are seeking an attention to the presidency. Others are seeking attention to the political movement. Others are seeking attention to the family of the late Jaramogi, to the late Raila Odinga. They are all fighting for attention. They are all fighting, and others are also fighting for their seats, which probably they will not get in 2027. So there is a lot of pulling and shoving in ODM. So I think we'll be able to discuss that later on with Joseph here. I will also look at the elections in, is it in Magarini, or yeah, in Kilifi. We'll look at the
When are the elections happening, Brother Mzalendo? Sorry for cutting you
I
short.
think the by-elections are the ones for sometimes on 27th November. Yeah, 27th
Mm.
November. That is the elections in Kilifi, and the same by-elections are happening in uh,
Kasipul, Kidole.
in Kasipul.
Kasipul.
So we will look at the implications of these elections after Baba. We'll also look at the overall ODM party and why Ruto feels like, he doesn't have any challenger in the next coming election. So if you have not subscribed to Africa 24, I've sent the link there. Make sure you subscribe so that when we are having such wonderful discussions, you can be part of and a parcel of this discussion. Otherwise, Joseph, if you have a last word, you can say one or
Yeah.
two.
Yes, thank you for this opportunity, Brother Mzalendo. You always give us to come discuss some issues, even though we might be not knowledgeable in everything, but we try our best to analyze it to the
Thank
best
you.
of our ability. And I would like, I'll join you in the next session so that we can discuss about the matters happening in our country. I think we have diversed in Africa and other regions and what is happening. So I think also it's very fair we come back to our country and discuss the issues happening in our country. But thank you for everything. Thank you for this platform and for always being here steady fast for us
All right.
conversation.
Thank you very, very, very much, Joseph. And I would want to know what is happening with Gashagwa and DCP now that Jubilee is having a candidate. I don't know how Uhuru will market Jubilee in Central. At the same time, Gashagwa is marketing DCP. There's a lot that is happening in politics. Otherwise, guys, thank you very much. If you don't subscribe, make sure that you do subscribe. Asante sana.